everybody, and welcome to another episode of Couch Potato Queens and Reality Realness with 3 S's, Big Brother Chat. We are so excited to talk about more of the live feeds because how's this going crazy this week, guys? Like, we're getting a game. It's just the perfect time for it. But let's go ahead and start. Firstly, we have my fellow sister from another mister, Miss Alex Might. Alex, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm heartbroken to see my sweet baby angel, Sarah Beth, on the block. But you know what? She's gonna go out in a pretty fierce move if she ends up leaving this week. So it could be worse.
Very nice. And we also have Chantele from Reality Realness here today. Hi, Chantele. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. You know, I love our Sundays is because I definitely keep up to date with like tweets and like I know what's going on in the house, but I love people that have watched the feeds to just be like filling in some of the blanks, and we're just having discussions about what's going on and why it's going on, and it's just a free for all, and it's just like an information overload, and I get to just talk about the show that I love. So I love my Sundays. So thanks for having me.
Oh, our Sundays are the best. Like, it's so much fun when the two of our channels get together. I'm always excited for it. It's a blast.
I'm excited to be here on a Sunday. My rehearsal ended early, so I'm able to be here and hang out with y'all on a weekend.
Yes!
Also, I bet you it's because the universe knew that your girl may be going home this week, and they wanted to make sure that you had some last-minute impressions for us, just in case the material is gone out the door.
I know. And
well, it might be my last week in the house, but I've met some friends that I'll cherish forever. Kyland and I are best friends, and that's a connection that makes me feel like a winner already.
Aw, it's so sweet.
Amazing. Well, speaking of, we have Pisces thinking Christian is going. Here's the thing. As of last night, guys, late last night, first of all, we were waiting on the feeds forever last night, at least I was, for like them to come back because this veto ceremony started later in the night and it went until like 2 a.m. Eastern time. So people were up all night waiting to find out who won that veto. And it turns out Miss Brittany is the first woman to win a veto or HOH this season. So snaps.
Do you think that Brittany rapped when she won?
No, but she probably said, "I'm the best Big Brother player in the world. Like, I'm the only woman that's ever won in this season, and like, I am unstoppable." I'm sure she was feeling herself.
I love it. Brittany, the veto queen. Yes, her and Derek X can reign together. Mama. Yeah, so basically last night, we, like, right before they all went to bed at 4 a.m. Eastern time, or their time, 4 a.m. Actually, I think it was 4 a.m. Pacific time, which is their time. Basically, Tiffany and Claire at separate occasions said that they would be okay now targeting Christian again. So now Christian is the target, as far as I know. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm not sure though. I feel like they still are saying that they could be easily swayed because a lot of other people are thinking that Sarah Beth might be the better choice. And so I've heard that it was on the other side of that coin right now, more likely.
So you're hearing that it's Sarah Beth again. It's going back and forth. And
I mean, I'm honestly kind of excited, even though I'm very heavily on the side of Christian should go. I think this is the first week where it is up in the air. Like the last, every eviction up until this point has really been, we knew who was going home. It was a no-brainer, and this is the first one where come, eviction night, we will be sitting at the edge of our seat and who is going home. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that kind of Big Brother drama. But let's look at this comment from Pisces. I think the votes are 7-2 or 6-3.
Tiffany and Claire are not going to vote out Sarah if the whole house isn't voting out Sarah. Like, they will bounce on to voting out Christian. So unless it's like right down the middle, like 5-4, I don't see that it would be anything other than like unanimous.
Yeah. Let us know, Pisces. Who do you think that person who's flipping would be? Who do you think that these votes are? I'm curious to see your list. I think I know, but I want to know what's going on with your prediction, Pisces.
Steven has a good comment here. If they really want SB gone, it's in DX's best interest to put up a different pawn, like a Derek flop would be a good one. If he puts up Derek flop, it's 100% Sarah Beth is going home. But if he puts Christian up, I truly think Christian will end up leaving.
Yeah.
By the end of the week.
I mean, because there's so many people in the comments right now. Christian wins comp, Sarah Beth wins nothing. I really don't understand the purpose of sending Sarah Beth home right now. Sarah Beth is somebody who would be a great member of the jury because I feel like Sarah Beth could be emotionally swayed.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like,
no, that's okay. Chantele, go for it. What were you saying?
Loyal.
I was just saying that. Oh, now I forget. I'm like enthralled with Alex here. What was I saying? I was gonna say about why. So there's a new theory in the house that potentially Sarah Beth may not actually have a partner in real life, and that maybe her and Kyland are America's couple, like as America's players. And so Tiffany has convinced Xavier that it potentially could be in his best interest to vote out Sarah Beth. So other people other than Tiffany are starting to think that maybe Sarah Beth might be the better plan. And so if that momentum starts going, the only person that would be against it kind of would be Kylan and maybe Derek X, but everybody else might be able to get on that train. Brittany's not going to want Christian to be gone because they made a final two. Ozza and Derek F, I think that they could be swayed either way. Like, I don't see them really putting their foot down and doing one thing or the other. So I think that if like they can actually convince like Derek or Xavier that they could get the momentum to get Sarah Beth out.
That is true.
I don't understand the purpose of being a fake couple. Like, why would she come in and lie about being in a relate? Like, that's just such like a roundabout thing to lie about.
Tiffany's
kind of similar to another season of Big Brother, season 9, where people entered as couples in a relationship and they didn't tell the truth about it.
So, okay, work.
Yeah,
something happened sort of before, and then kind of playing off as being like America's couple. So like maybe if they get to jury together, they get a prize, or they get to play singularly. Like they're just thinking that maybe them playing the game together, they have a separate mission than just getting to the end and winning on their own. So that's what this starts to speculate.
I feel like if that's the case with these people, then they're playing way too obvious. Like we all saw that on the feeds when Tiffany and Derek X were watching Kyland and Sarah Beth hug for like 20 minutes on the live. That was so funny.
Sarah Beth during the veto ceremony is going to be like, okay, well, I took the $5,000.
I decided that it was in my best interest to take the $5,000. I think I'm in a good place in the house, and I have people who will have my back and not let me go home this week.
You never take the money, girl.
Sarah Beth, tell me how you feel about Hannah.
I feel like Hannah is someone who I would be friends with on the outside, but we don't talk much game, honestly, and it's making me nervous. So I feel like she needs to go.
Thank you, Sarah.
Tell me about your girlfriend, Shelly, and
I just miss Shelly so much, and it's hard for me to be in here right now, and I'm thinking about Shelly, and it's just great to have someone like Kyland lean on and be there for me while I'm missing Shelly so much.
And scene.
Beautiful moment.
Amazing.
Let's focus on a fake couple instead of a real couple, Christian and Alyssa. For real. This is what I'm saying. Get them out of there.
Well, I understand though. Tiffany's point is like Christian's not coming for her, and he might win stuff, and so she'll at least have some influence on where the power goes in the house. Sarah Beth is not feeling her. Obviously, Sarah Beth is coming for Hannah still. She's like taking Kyland away from Tiffany. So like Tiffany doesn't have as close relationship to Kyland anymore. Like Kyland was her final 2. And now she's like, oh, I should put maybe Kyland up next to Sarah Beth because like she wants to break up their connection. So for Tiffany's game, it's better to take out Sarah Beth. And so she's now trying to make it everybody else's better option is take out Sarah Beth rather than Christian, who most other people would be the better move.
Yeah, I definitely think for Tiffany's game right now, the problem with Tiffany is I have an issue with her game right now a little bit. I love Tiffany. She's my number 1, will be the entire season. But I feel like Tiffany is easily wanting to cut her closest allies who are going to have her back all the way through this game and are not going to turn on her. Like she was talking again about cutting Claire soon. Like Claire is not going to come after her. Derek X, she shouldn't be lying to him. He's not going to come after her at all. Awesome. Go ahead.
The problem is the fact that she's playing for the cookout to make history before she's putting her own game forward. And so that will become her number 1 objective is getting the cookout to the final 6, even with the risk of her not winning the game, which I don't think she'll win the game unless she wins out from the final 6 on. I think that they would easily take a shot at her. And like Derek X will be sitting in the final 2 seats because like everybody else is going to be super dangerous and like he'll be like taken to the end. And then it's going to be whoever wins those comps in the end, which is right now more likely to be Xavier and Kyland because they've actually won so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's so obvious that Xavier is going to win this game. I mean, to me, if Xavier doesn't win this game, I'd be shocked right now. I think that's the winner.
I don't think he's playing that great of a game, though.
I think that he's in a really good standing to not be on anyone's radar, where he's not proving to be a huge physical threat despite his physique.
Yeah.
You know, what was the challenge that he won for HOH? It was questions, right? He has not won a physical competition.
But he was next to Derek X on that wall. He chose to fall off the wall. And he probably could have lasted a lot longer. So I don't know if he was hiding his physical capabilities with that challenge, but I knew he wanted to make sure that he won over Alyssa winning. So he was basically staying until that happened.
Very true. Yeah. The problem is, though, even like I've even heard this morning that Ozzy and Derek F were talking about targeting Tiffany soon before the thing. So like Tiffany is playing this game for the cookout. And yes, we all love the cookout. Yes, we want the cookout to make it to the end. We want someone from the cookout to win. But like, let's be more specific. I want Tiffany or Hannah to win this game. That's who, or mainly Tiffany. Maybe Kyland as well, but I don't want Derek F to win. At all. On Xavier. I want a woman to win this season. That's who we need a woman winner this season. So
especially since they have the numbers right now, you know? Yeah. So like ride with that.
Exactly. I think I really want Tiffany to understand that this is like an individual game and she should be playing to win. And I understand the cookout's there and I want the entire cookout to get to jury. I want the entire cookout to get far. I want a cookout member to win the game. But I do think Tiffany eventually should start taking out cookout members before she takes out Claire. I think Claire's going to be
worried about the backlash that the American public will have on her. So she has a weight on her shoulders. Is that remember Davon last season? We're just like, get rid of David. And she's like, I made a promise to him. It's like, you know, someone that looks like, you know, like she was really conflicted and it was terrible for her game to not be listening to him. He wasn't taking it as seriously as she was. True. And she kind of threw away her game for the cause. And so I think that this is a similar situation here with Tiffany, really being worried about how it's going to look optically from the American public if she chooses to go and takes the first strike against the cookout.
And Alex, weren't we talking about this like a couple weeks ago, how Drag Race, how like, at least with their audience, that because it can be like, at least some fans can be very toxic. And it's the same with Big Brother. We were saying it's very similar in that it can be very toxic and people are playing the game to be not hated by America and be like threatened and
I do feel like we're seeing that with this season where people are playing for America. And you saw that with Frenchie more than anyone else, where Frenchie was in the confessional saying, oh, I'm not going to take out a woman. I'm not going to take out a person of color. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Because Frenchie seemed like he was playing for his image, where you're coming in as a straight white man. People are going to have assumptions about you. I know I did. And we really can't confirm anything about him, honestly, because his story's changed so many times. But he was playing for America's opinion, honestly. And I'm curious to see what someone like Frenchie would have done in 4 seasons ago, when it was more like anything goes.
Oh,
you know?
I mean, he would have put up probably Derek F and stuff he wouldn't be necessarily aligned with. So I just want to give an example as to I understand where Tiffany's hesitancy is, because when I played Sequester last summer, there was quite a few people of color that was on in the game, and I didn't have any. I usually don't go after anybody, a person of color or anybody that in the LGBTQ community. I usually give those as allies, and so those are never who I outwardly go target first, kind of thing. Just that's my natural who I gravitate towards working with, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was playing this game and I heard that this guy was coming for me and that he was saying my name in another room and he wanted me to go out. And so people that I was working with, they told me this, and this was a black man that told me this. And so the next round I had the opportunity to push my agenda on who I wanted out. And I said I wanted this person out because he was targeting me and I heard my name through other people, many people from the other room, whatever. So we targeted him and he got out. And then after, a lot of people were like, oh, I really like Chantele, but I really hate that she took that guy out. I really hate that. They got mad at me for the fact that I took out a black man, even though he was already targeting me beforehand. And I went out and in the whole game, because somebody that said that they were never going to target me, who was also black, he was the one that sent the charge for me to actually leave the game. And I would have never have said his name, because that just was an understanding, kind of the cookout, but I was not going to take any shots at them. And then it allowed me to be open and then take somebody of color to end up taking me out. So I totally get where Tiffany's letting herself be open, because I don't know if people are for the cause as much as she is. But from that little game that I played with maybe a couple hundred people watching, people were really coming for me and were angry with my decision to push for him to be leaving the game. So
at the end of the day, you were working your agenda for your game, so you can't be mad at someone for doing that. The only time you can be mad at someone for doing that is if it's Memphis or Christmas, who I genuinely think made moves because of that, or a Jackson. There are people that did that with microaggressions in mind, definitely. But
absolutely. But the audience doesn't have that much critical thinking, and they're just the moral police, and you shouldn't be doing that. The shoulds and the what you should have, and you shouldn't have done that, and you should have done this. And it's kind of you weren't in the house, you weren't in the game, and I was trying to play for myself and my family and win this money. So I totally get where Tiffany's, where she's kind of between a rock and a hard place here. And I feel for her. I want her to just be I'll get them all the jury, and then it's everybody for themselves, and that is what she ends up doing. I
feel like that's also a fair way to do that. Is let's get us all to jury, and then we play the game.
Yep.
Which is where they are right now, kind of.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what will happen after this week, because I do think we're not. I will be shocked if a cookout member goes home this week. I don't think there's any way that's happening.
I think this week is where the real drama is about to start. Once that veto ceremony happens, because as of now, Christian's going on the block. People are going to be blindsided at that veto ceremony. Alyssa has no clue that he's going on the block. She thinks it's Derek F going on the block. So some heads are going to roll after that ceremony.
How do we think that reaction is going to go?
It's apparently.
Do you think that Derek X is going to play this like Xavier did, where he told Brent, "Oh, you're a pawn," or "Oh, you're going up for whatever reason"? Or do you think it's going to be "No, you're being backdoored"?
What do you think, Chantele?
think he will know that he's being backdoored. I don't think that it'll be explicit. I think maybe Derek X will say something like, this is my only opportunity to put you up here. You didn't win the veto. We need a king gone. And so maybe let the best king win the vote.
That's fair. I thought that would be the way to spin that, is we need a king gone.
Yeah. It's Beth's birthday that day, so tomorrow. So happy birthday. I'm on the block.
Keisha's birthday 2.0. I love that.
Keisha's birthday.
Yeah.
Keisha's birthday and Rockstar's daughter's birthday.
That's what everybody's talking about. Like, we're going to have to do the veto ceremony and then have cake afterwards. Great.
Anybody want cake?
Speaking of this is a completely side conversation here. But have you guys seen the TV show Hacks?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so did you see the scene that was basically Keisha's birthday? I died.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Gosh, it's so funny.
Wait, what is this?
Hacks is like Jean Smart. She plays like an aging stand-up comedian in Las Vegas. And this like young writer that's like a millennial that comes to go and help her write it's a state for a show.
Yes, I love it. It's a great show. I watched the first half of the season.
Oh well, I watched the whole thing all the way through, and there's one literally she said at the end anybody want cake? It was like the entire Keisha's birthday.
There's a huge fight at a birthday party, and then Jean Smart says, "Anybody want cake?"
At the end of it, it was the writer must have saw Big Brother, and it was like, I need to write that into something.
Keisha's birthday.
It was so good.
Poor Keisha. Oh, she got so screwed last season.
I know. I was heartbroken for Keisha, honestly. It's horrible.
I want to see her play. I hated how last season went. We can go on about that for forever, but it just did not
we don't talk about last season.
Yeah, forget about
it. We do. We talk about how much we hated everyone that was
How could Rockstar lose the boxing fight after her daughter's birthday? Not Rockstar's daughter's birthday.
She lost to the Canadian Magic. She's also an Aquarius. Yes, Maddie.
Love it. I knew Maddie would take her down. So, okay, Chantele, really quick. I've heard rumors, is Canada getting an all-star season?
I haven't heard that. I've heard that they're accepting casting videos, but that they still to waste everybody's time and accept these videos, and then they do an all-star. So I haven't heard this.
All right. I would love it. I would watch it. I would be
Nobody
here.
wants that. I want to get a shot on the show. I don't want to see people that sucked again.
One thing I want to ask y'all, have you seen that Caitlyn Jenner is going to be on Big Brother Australia?
I did see that, and I'm kind of I'm trying to think. I'm thinking, I don't want to cover it, but I'm thinking of maybe streaming it on another platform, kind of like what Sarah from Nerdtainment does with her Patreon people. She streams Survivor South Africa and watches it with her people. So I was thinking of maybe doing that, watching it as a group of people together and doing commentary at the same time, But I totally want to see it.
I might be up for it. Let me know.
That's funny. I'm just why is Caitlyn Jenner doing this?
And Omarosa again. We get more Omarosa. Here we go.
Caitlyn Jenner also running for governor?
Yes.
That's a joke. Okay.
I'm like, girl, what are you doing?
And then Vivi wrote that at the same time. Okay, I was literally asking that. We're thinking Bean.
I'm dead. I am dead. I'm deceased.
Maybe it's for publicity. Maybe it's to make some money. Because if you do watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, at one of the last episodes of season 20, Caitlyn Jenner was asking Chris for any ways to build her brand and make some income and stuff like that. And so Chris had suggested her starting a YouTube channel of her cooking and stuff like that. So maybe she's just trying to get more relevancy so that she can run for governor.
So are Caitlyn Jenner and Chris Jenner, are they still close? Are they friends?
They've worked through their problems, and I think that they're okay.
I think they're fine. I don't think they hang out all the time, but I think they're fine.
Good for them. Fantastic.
I will say, I'm very much Team Luke Toki for.
Is it you have a crush on Luke Toki? Like I have a crush on Luke Toki.
100%. Me and my partner Adam both love Luke Toki. We want to get Luke's t-shirts that say "Creepin'." This house is a Luke Toki household. So.
Wait,
have you watched All Stars? Did you watch that season yet?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I thought it was like. I mean, the end of it I didn't like, but
yeah, that was bullshit. But Luke Toki's just great TV anytime he's anywhere. So
who's Luke Toki? I'm out of who is that?
He's from Survivor Australia.
Okay.
3 times, I believe.
Okay.
Twice. Are you sure?
No.
Okay, no, because I feel like he had his first season.
Oh, he had Champions versus Contenders.
Wait, Alex, have you been watching Survivor Australia?
Yeah. Didn't he? And then didn't he play All Stars? I could be wrong. Maybe I'm mistaking All Stars with him coming back, but I feel like he played 3 times.
I don't know. I just know I watched 2 of his seasons.
I love that you're watching it. I didn't even watch it yet. I've never seen it.
Oh, Josh, it's fierce. Honestly, Luke's first season, is that season 2, Chantele?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, season 2 of Survivor Australia is some of the best reality TV I've ever seen.
It's so good. That's with AK, right? Or am I thinking of
Yes,
season?
that's AK.
Okay, all right.
AK and Lockie.
I'll start it from the beginning. Send me a link. One of the two of you send me a link to start watching it.
I gave you the link before, so it's on that same link that has the circle.
That no longer works.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I'll give it to you again. It might have a password now.
Work. Okay.
I'm watching Survivor South Africa on, and I need to put in a password. So I'll check it out.
All right. So let's talk about someone we haven't talked about in a while. I'm going to throw Azah out there. What do you guys think? How do you guys think Azah's currently playing the game? Because she was throwing Tiffany under the bus. I do think right now her loyalty is to Derek F. But I think she's more loyal to Brittany than she is to all the members of the Cookout.
Yeah, I feel like her game is very weird because she kind of does have like a clear path set up for her, and that's staying loyal to the Cookout and, doing that. But she's kind of going on this weird path of being like super here for Brittany. And I'm like, why are you willing to like die on this hill?
Yeah, she's been willing to die on it since round 1. And
I know. I'm like, why? I understand like having connections and wanting to like have that be part of your game is being like, okay, I'm the person who's like trying to be moral or whatever. But in Big Brother, there's really not room for that when it's happening constantly.
Very true.
I feel like her loyalty to her team is taking precedent over her actually making moves and playing the game. And just because you got put on a team doesn't mean that that's where you have to stay. And she's really the number one person who's like sticking hard to this team loyalty thing.
Yeah.
I think personally that Azah doesn't want to be cutthroat and do what it takes to actually win the game. I think that she just wants to rest on, I'm a good person and I'm going to play this game morally. And I feel like she kind of judges people for playing the game to win. And I'm personally not enjoying her gaming style because like I want someone to play to win, and it's not really fun like always having like my morals being tested every time like she comes in, and it's just kind of like, oh, we shouldn't do things this way or that way because like that's not, we should not be putting Brittany on the block. How dare you think of that? It's kind of like, he's like, yeah, she's going on the block because I'm not scared of Brittany. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
because that makes sense for that person's game. Because that would make sense for that person's game. Of course, they're going to go on the block. It doesn't matter if she's been on the block every single week and she's emotionally distraught. She's on Big Brother and that's what she signed up for.
She did. And she's a fan of the show. She should know better.
Yeah.
If she's a true fan of the show and has been watching since Jeff and Jordan season, she should know.
Do you think that Azah is a floater right now?
What's the difference between floater? Which one's floater and coaster? I never know which is which.
I think she's a coaster. She's not.
Yeah, she's a coaster, not a floater, because she has alliances, but she's not. She's coasting.
She's definitely coasting.
Well, and I think that this is also what's really frustrating about Azah's game is that Tiffany's working harder to protect her in the game than she is doing for herself. And that isn't, and she kind of feels as though she's in like such a, like she's in an entitled position kind of. And it's like, you haven't done anything to deserve this other than the fact that you got a head nod for being a part of the cookout. Like, because of that, you're being protected on all angles and you haven't really had to play the game. And it's just like a little bit, it's just frustrating that she's not even recognizing that it shouldn't usually be this easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it really isn't usually that, like, you know, a quarter of the house is not going to put you up on the block. That's usually not the case. And so I wish she felt a little bit more heat, you know?
Yeah. Who else? Who do you think are who is a floater in the house?
Honestly, floater in the house right now, it's someone who's playing both sides would be a floater, right?
I'd say Tiffany.
Tiffany and Claire are floaters. Those are your floaters. Floater isn't necessarily a bad term. Floater is someone that plays both sides and goes with who is in power in the house. And Tiffany knows exactly how to do that. So right now, Tiffany is going with the power. And she goes with the power and tries to manipulate the situation to benefit her. And that's what she's doing, which is masterful if she doesn't get caught.
I feel like a floater is someone who's a little more passive than Tiffany is. I feel like Tiffany is strategizing, whereas a floater is somebody who's just kind of like, you know, coasting and floating at the same time, you know?
Hannah?
Yeah, I feel like Hannah's a floater, 100%.
Well. It's kind of like she does make, the reason why I would say that she could be considered a floater is that she will go to whoever's in power and kind of make their game plan her game plan. You know what I mean? Like she's influencing a lot, not gonna lie, but like she does adjust things a little bit towards who is in power. Like, yeah, she's gonna, if she's not gonna get her way with Sarah Beth, she's gonna allow X to have out whoever he wants to have out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's influenced, but she's just moving towards power. And if it was somebody else, she would be like, well, like, how about this person? And kind of like, that would be good for their game. And so I do think that she's a little bit of a floater, but maybe with a little bit more agency in the game.
Do we think that Brittany is a floater?
No. No, Brittany's
really, I don't think she's a floater or a coaster. I think that she's kind of playing her own thing.
Brittany's in the Brittany bubble. Brittany's like the Sam from season 20 or like the Victoria from season 16. No, it's Brittany the Victoria. Yeah, Brittany's the Victoria. That's super. She's going to go up every week. And she'll probably get taken far into this game. Yes, Andy Heron was a floater. He definitely was. He played both sides to benefit himself and got to the end. A lot of people are critical of Andy Heron's game. I'm not. I think Andy Heron's game was great. I think it was really good. Yes, it was a season where we didn't like so much because of Aaron Grease and Gina Marie. But I do think Andy did play a good game and he deserves it.
I hated Andy's game. His game was one of those games where like I viscerally was angry. Like I could feel the anger in my veins. I was just like, I really didn't enjoy watching him. Yes, I like people getting like blindsided or like people making good game moves, but I never really like when people are kind of really taking for advantage of somebody's kindness and then like using it against them. You know, like I don't love it when people like are going to pretend to be friends with you and then use any information that you give me and then go and like get you kicked out of the game. You know what I mean? Like, so he was considered like a rat floater game, and he's just like bringing back information in a way that I just didn't enjoy watching it. I don't know why.
And that's not a way that I would play the game personally, but he did win the game. He got to the end. He did it. We may not like all the winners. Franzel, we can't stand. We hope that Franzel never comes back again. But she did win. So in some way, whatever they did, however they did it, however their strategy ended up, they won the game. They won that $500,000. Not necessarily all deserving, but they all did it, you know? But I agree.
You know what I find so annoying is when in the confessionals, everyone's like, I didn't come here for friends. I came here for $75,000. Or $750,000. I'm like, no, you didn't. You came here for $500,000. You did not know it was $750,000. So why are you saying that's what you came here for?
First, and then when they heard that, they're like, okay, no more friends. I'm not coming here for friends anymore. Now you're $750,000. I'm changing my game plan and I'm going to try to win.
Yeah.
No, I was here for friends when it was only $500,000 because whatever.
Alex, we should like do an impromptu interview with Tiffany. We should find her phlebotomy clinic and go with like a list of questions and just be like, "Hey, girl, we have questions while you're doing our
Hi,
blood."
can you please draw my blood? We have a lot of Big Brother questions. I want to answer Esraella's question here. Does Brittany even have alliances?
Azza and Christian. Christian, she has a final 2 with. I think Azza and Derek F. I don't think they would ever put her
I
up.
am so confused by the Brittany and Christian final 2.
It's just
well, you don't say no to a final 2, right? So
doesn't she have the alliance with Claire and Tiffany still though?
I don't remember that. That's like
She
weeks
does.
ago.
Her and Claire are kind of close. Brittany and Claire, they have a closeness. They made it the first week. The alliance of Brittany, Claire, and Tiffany.
What is it called?
The Kingslayers? No.
That didn't work out too well for them.
Wasn't it the Kingslayers?
Well, the Kings are all still standing. Looks like they didn't do their job too well.
Yeah.
Isn't the Kingslayers?
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. That was funny.
Well, they might get their way this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, they will get their way this week, unless.
Yo, when do you think we're getting a double eviction? I want that to happen soon.
So I think we're getting a double eviction, not this week, not next week, but it's usually the second week of jury. So usually around like final 10. So 10 and 9 go together. Chantele, do you agree?
Yeah, I think that they'll allow one person to get into jury, then it might be a double eviction. So 1 or 2 people into jury, yeah.
Yeah.
Because usually like, the person's by themselves, and then like all of a sudden 2 people join them. Like what?
I love that. Yeah, second and third jurors. That's what Jess said. That's usually when it happens. Because I was thinking, I'm not thinking last season because last season was weird because of COVID. They had the triple eviction. I don't think we're getting a triple this season.
Please no.
Please no. I would not be here for it.
God, last season was terrible. I was like thinking back. I was like, look.
Everything about it. I was talking about, I was doing Mary F. Kill yesterday with everyone. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Alex is taking a break on her Wi-Fi at the moment. I was doing Mary F. Kill yesterday, and someone put in like all people from last season, and it was a really hard decision. It was like Cody, Kevin, and like Enzo, and I was like, kill Kevin because I can't stand him.
Would I marry or fuck Enzo?
I definitely think fuck Enzo. I think Enzo would be good in the second.
He'd be fun to marry.
Huh?
Like he'd be fun to marry. I think that, no offense, Cody, but I think Cody would be boring.
Cody would be kind of boring, yeah. Enzo would be fun. But you know, he's that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would kill Kevin. Sorry, Kevin.
Oh, but, sorry, Kevin. Bye. Have fun.
Kevin, I'm gonna blame Kevin on ruining that season.
Honestly, last season's it's Kevin is the reason why last season failed. I will go as far to blame Kevin for last season's failure solely. It's Kevin's fault.
Yep,
no question.
He was in Nicole's ear, and he wasn't allowing like Janelle and Kaser to like build the resistance against the people that ended up winning.
Yep, because I'm telling you, and I said this. I think I said this to you last year. Week 2, they were all the people that were not in that majority alliance, which was a majority of people, were sitting in that couples room, the room that's next to the bathroom. They were sitting in it, and it was the night before Nicole was going. And they were sitting there like, okay, Nicole, we could save you this week. And it was kind of Davon's thing too. But then like, who was Nicole up against that second week?
Keisha.
Do you remember?
Not Keisha. David. And they were
I love that you remember that.
They were all sitting in the room, and they were like, we have the votes right now to save Nicole. And then Kevin was against it, and then Bailey and Davon were against it, and it is Kevin's fault. I'm sorry, Kevin ruined it. Kevin, you ruined Big Brother.
Kevin should have gone home week 1.
Amen.
Oh my God. Oh.
Imagine that season if Kevin just went home week 1.
Oh, it would have been incredible. It would have been great.
Can't even think, oh my God, that timeline would have been so different. We would have probably seen like a Janelle Kaser Final 2 or something like glorious.
Shut up. Don't even say that to me.
Like,
I
wouldn't
like-
that universe be amazing?
I just want to live in that timeline.
It would have been great. Maybe
Chantele is a
Janelle would have won
reality
that beer
TV
toss.
encyclopedia.
And do you guys remember how close Janelle got? I'm sorry to talk Big Brother 22 again. How close Janelle got to winning that HOH that third week? She was this close. She was right there, and then Tyler took it from her. Damn it.
They should have
Garbaggio.
Anyways, that season sucked. Now this season is so much better.
Oh, it's great. This is turning out to be potentially how this week goes. This could be one of the best seasons ever.
It's already the best season in like 10 years, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I 100% agree. It's the best.
Would you say that this is in top 5 seasons?
Yeah.
I don't personally know, but close.
Half.
My top seasons are season 6, season 7, season 8, season 2, season 10. Those are my
Season
5.
14.
And what?
14.
I don't care about 14.
Oh, okay.
Who's 14? I don't know the numbers.
Dan's
Tell me the
funeral.
winners.
Dan's funeral is 14.
Who?
Dan Giesling, Dan's funeral.
Oh my god, you don't like 14?
I just saw my top 5.
How do you not like? Oh my god, Chantele.
Okay, I would say
I
my
didn't
top
like
5.
how the girl went out first, like, and it was teams in the beginning, and they
Yeah.
kicked somebody off, like, the girl.
It was
off.
a fun post jury. Post jury was fun.
I didn't like what's that girl, the whining girl that liked the guy. I didn't like that.
Danielle Murphy.
I
Oh,
thought
her.
that Dan should have won, but they all banned against anybody of the returning players from winning, so I didn't really love that. I wish that the players that were the coaches just stayed as coaches and just let the other people play their game and then have like some sort of secondary prize. I would have preferred that. I hated that Janelle's teammate turned on her and got her evicted from the house. I hate that Brittany like got like screwed over in the end. I don't know. There's just a lot of things I didn't enjoy about that season.
Yeah, that's true. I just love Dan so much.
Yeah, I
like-
think he did a good job, and I think he deserved to win for the most part. But I understand why they wouldn't want to give it to them. I would have made that argument as well if I was a newbie player. I'd be like, to get rid of him, like don't let him. I wouldn't even let him sit in the final 2 seat. But
Yeah.
Dan Giesling is my all-time favorite winner.
Not mine. Maybe he is my favorite winner because I don't really obsessively like a lot of the winners, truthfully. There's not a lot of them out there where I'm like, woohoo! There's not. Maybe
Not
June.
Rachel?
I like June. June's one of my favorites. Okay, wait. My favorite season 3, Danielle Reyes.
I mean, that's like number 6 for me.
Yeah. Season 6, season 8, season 10. And then I would put this up there. It's between this season and season 14 for me.
Yeah, I think that this season will be season 6, and then maybe 14's after, or no, 3 would be after, and then maybe 14 would probably be how I do it.
Yeah, 3's also a good season. Love it.
4 is also really good too. Like I really liked all the earlier
4 is
seasons,
great.
because it was, even though there was problematic behavior that would not be acceptable in these day and age. For sure. But I did enjoy the gameplay a bit more. It was clearer. I didn't find that the episodes really deterred from like what was actually going on in the game. Like it wasn't a separate show, if that makes sense. Because like now, if you watch the feeds, it's a completely different show than what
It's entirely different.
And so it was a little bit more in alignment there back in the day too. And I feel like they focused more on gameplay. They were not yelling in the diary room. I don't think that they were feeding them as much information. I just felt it was a little bit more pure back then, and I liked it.
Chantele, since the 3 of us are here, do you have access to our draft?
Yes!
Let's see. Let's see, because I've been using that template for other things. So let's see.
I know all 5 of my people are still in the
Keep talking while I see if I can pull her up.
Because we've talked about our draft, and I know that some of our viewers remember certain people who are on our drafts and who has the best draft.
Right now, mine's the best.
What?
Right now, mine's the best. If Christian stays this week, mine's the best.
Is this ours? I think this. Oh, hold on. Let's update this.
I feel like Josh's is like kind of the best because you picked Travis over Christian, so you only got the good draft by default.
Yep. All 5 of my people are still in the game.
Whatever. I have the strongest 3 people still left in the game.
Yeah, my draft is not great. People in the comments will be like, Alex's draft is great. And I'm like, it's not.
All right.
Do
Let's see. See, I have all 5.
I mean,
Chantele, I think that you could potentially have the winner in your draft.
I feel it too. Well, I mean, I feel like they're going to go far. We know that they're obviously going to get to jury, both Tiffany and Kylan. I think that Tiffany will realize, or I think that Claire will force Tiffany into realizing that they have to work together. I think Tiffany's not realizing how important it is to have somebody that she can strategize with, bounce ideas back and forth with, get that chessboard out and like really figure out what's going on. I think she's really not recognizing the value that is. Like, she's always talking about like, oh my God, in my head, I've been thinking too much. You've been thinking too much and you have a soundboard. Imagine you don't have somebody else that can bounce back ideas. I think that her game would plummet without having any insight from Claire. And so I'm thinking that this is my prediction is that Claire is she's not going to have any safety next week. I feel like that's going to light a fire under her butt because that'd be the perfect time to get somebody out is when they're open like this. I think that Claire is going to win the next head of household. I think she's going to end up taking out somebody from the cookout maybe. And that will just help Tiffany inadvertently. And
I think Tiffany is going to try and convince Claire to put up Kylan and Xavier. I see it happening. I don't want to guarantee this. But I think that's what's going to happen.
Who do you think would go over Kylan and Xavier?
Kylan.
He'd leave?
Mm-hmm.
I think Kylan would go.
Tiffany doesn't trust Kylan right now.
Yeah.
I think
Kylan especially if we lose SB this week, Kylan has no chance.
Well, if we lose SB, I think it's actually the opposite. I think that he has more likelihood to stay just because then Tiffany might be able to bring him back in. I think that one of the biggest problems for Tiffany is the fact that he has such a close relationship with Sarah Beth, and she wants to be the person that Kylan tells everything to. And the slip up a couple of weeks ago, I believe Kylan mentioned the Jackpot Alliance to Tiffany, and that obviously came through Sarah Beth. I think the fact that was revealed to him showed her that they have a closer relationship, and she tells him most likely everything. And so that's where she started having her like eyes on her. And then when she started to come for Hannah, who's now her number 2, I think that's why she has it out so badly for Sarah Beth. She wants to bring Kylan back into the fold, but with Sarah Beth around, I don't think that she has enough control over him or like trust in him. And so I think that she might be able to bring him back in if Sarah Beth's gone.
Yeah. How are we feeling about Derek X right now? Because he's my shining star of my team.
He might be taken out next week.
We think he's gone.
He might get back.
By who?
By Christian. If Christian survives, Christian doesn't go. He's coming for Derek X. If Alyssa, Christian would be coming after him. I think Xavier might come after him. A lot of people, strong players, are going to be after him next week.
So maybe it would be like a Kylan Derek X on the block because I think
Derek X would go.
I honestly feel like Derek X is like a safe person to put on the block at any time because he is a challenge threat, and you put him on the block without looking like a douche.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing is you want to think, who can I put up and have the least amount of blood on my hands? And when you put someone up who is like a challenge beast, you can just be like, well, you're a challenge beast. I can't beat you. I'm putting you in the black.
You guys, I'm sorry.
Before Brittany, only him and Christian won the majority of the competitions. Like, obviously, there's a Kylan HOH and an Xavier HOH, but everything else was won for the most part, other than the wild card stuff, by Derek X and Christian. So they are competing for the title of Comp Beast of the season.
I know. Guys, I know I'm going to be random, but even just seeing Christy's face there is just kills me. Like, it's so funny. Like, thank God she was not cast and taken out for Claire.
What do you think would be happening if she was in the house? Who would...
the slaughterhouse would have stayed alive.
I think she would have... I think her and Whitney would have been friends.
They could have been, because Brittany's a Gemini, if I'm not mistaken. So I do think that even though she doesn't know anything about the game, I think that Christy might have been able to get in with the Tiffany, with the Sarah Beth kind of chit chats. I guess Claire wouldn't be there, but they all elementally relate really well together. And so she might be able to start talking to those people game-wise.
We have a question here. Each of you, your best guess, when will Derek F be evicted?
He won't. He's going to go to the final two.
I think he's going to be final two.
Yeah, he's going to be dragged to the end.
No, I think actually I made a different, I said, I didn't really make a specific thing for Claire, but Claire has her sights on Derek F because she doesn't want him to take one of those final two seats. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Claire maybe took that shot.
So maybe Claire maybe Claire would be smart enough to know to put him up against like an
It would be him and Kylan that I think she would do, actually, because she was also the first one to kind of put it into Tiffany's ear that he has all these relationships with everybody. He's so well set up. And she's been looking at Kylan being like, Kylan is in a better position than I am. And so I think Kylan versus Derek F would be very interesting.
I would kind of love it because I think Kylan would end up going. I truly believe it. I think it would happen. I think it would send Kylan out the door if he was up against Derek F. Because I feel
I do truly think, though, that unless Claire can orchestrate a move like that, Derek F will be in the final two.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone else is fully prepared to drag him to the end.
I actually think Derek F might go home in that case because depending on if Tiffany mends fences with Kylan, he would most likely have OG Queens, right? So that'd be 2 votes there. I could see Derek X is not going to want Kylan gone. Hannah easily could not want Kylan gone because she'd be supporting the guy. I don't know if
Sarah Beth wouldn't if she's still there.
A lot of people have been willing to put Derek up as a pawn, which I think also means that they're willing to let him go as well. So I can actually see maybe against Kylan he could go just because Kylan has people that would want him to stay more than he has people that would want him to stay. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So yeah, I would love
it's a roller coaster. The season's a roller coaster, baby.
I would love for him to go next, though. Like, I'm just not interested in his game.
I think if Azza got to the end, though, I think Azza could win for some reason while Derek F could not. Azza knows the game still, while Derek F doesn't even know how to cast an eviction vote, and it's week 5. So,
and I think that Azza could win a challenge, whereas Derek, I cannot see winning a challenge.
First out and everything.
I mean, like I'm saying, like I'm really not trying to just shit on Derek right now. I don't think I could win a challenge. If I was in the Big Brother house, my biggest downfall would be I'd be that bitch who ain't never winning nothing. Like, and I know it.
Win the game. Dr. Will did it. You could do it too.
That would be me. I will never win a single damn thing. And I just feel like that Derek F is in a position where he needs to have power in the house at least one time. To be a contender to win at all.
Well,
like he's
not making any moves.
No, he's not. He's not doing anything.
He's just lying on his daybed. And,
yeah,
lying on the couch, doing this
And,
thing.
you know, we're the couch potato queens, so we don't mind a couch. We don't mind it.
Well, in terms of Azza, though, I don't think that Azza really could win, especially if she's going to have a lot of cookout members in the jury. I think that any other than Derek F, maybe, so it would only be if she's sitting next to Derek F that I think that she could win. But if she's against any other cookout members, I don't think that she could get the votes. And maybe she can get the votes next to not even next to Brittany. She can't get the votes next to anybody else, I don't think. Everybody else has been playing much harder of a game. And so the only person I can see her maybe winning sitting beside is Derek F.
Raven Walton. Do you guys know that Elena called out Raven to do a boxing match for the next one? She wants to match Raven.
Oh my God.
They wouldn't be in the same weight class. That wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair. I'm sure Raven would get hurt.
Elena would kick her ass, and I would love every second of it.
Aren't you really jealous? So I kind of wish that we could have gone to see that fight. Seeing all like the stories and everybody that was there, and like all the people from the challenge that was also there, because like there's the crossovers
Where
with like
was it?
Josh and stuff that's was fighting, and so like people from the challenge came. Obviously, Casey's dating a girl from the challenge, so I would have loved to be at that event. It looked like
Where was it in LA?
Dallas.
Dallas. Okay, that's cool. So much fun. And you know who looked really fun was Jeremy from Big Brother 15. I was saying that last night. I was like, okay, Jeremy wasn't one of the racist ones. So like, I'm allowed, I can say this because he was an asshole. He was bad. He was a third evicted. Huh?
I don't remember who he is.
Jeremy Maguire. He wasn't that cute when he was originally on the show, but he's looking good now. Yes.
This encyclopedia has a complete like blank there. I have no idea who that person. Jeremy Maguire.
He was kind of cute. He's like Native American. He was like covered in tattoos. I think he was like unemployed, lived on a boat or something. I don't know. Wait, is Derek F calling women biatches? Is that true? That's not cute.
Is it like she's a bitch, or is it like, okay, bitch?
No, he's probably like, that bitch needs to go get her. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like almost like.
If it's like casual bitch, then it's a little different instead of being like she's a bitch.
Yeah, because saying that is, yeah, like it's kind of like he's probably doing it in like gay slang types, because I call, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's almost like gay slang.
Yeah, I mean, Josh calls me a bitch all the time, and it's toxic as fuck. So
it's not like he was reciting the lyrics to Meredith Brooks' song or something. Yeah, that's Jeremy Maguire. Yeah, he looks a lot better. I definitely
forgot about
him. But yeah, that's. Like,
yeah, I'm curious to know in what context is Derek F saying?
Yeah, he looks
all over the place.
He looks better now. I will say, like,
I'd probably get in a showmance with him.
It's like a fine wine. He looks even better now. But I will say, yeah, if he was saying like he was being calling bitches for no reason.
So he was like, "Oh, she's a bitch, and she's a bitch."
All right, perfect.
Not cute. Not cute. We don't like to see it.
Like, this bitch is on fire, whatever. Like, that's
fine.
I'm into that.
Like, there's a difference between you're a bitch and work bitch.
Yeah, like,
so.
Yeah. Mama, yeah, it's all good.
Well, anyway, y'all, it is about that time that we can start wrapping things up for today. We got an episode to catch tonight.
Yes, we do.
We got an episode to catch tonight. We can see it's wild card, right?
Yes.
No wild card anymore.
No wild card, just nominations. There's no.
It's nominations. We have a nomination episode tonight, so we'll get to see the chaos ensue. Y'all, it's been a blast, and it is time for us to plug ourselves as always.
Yes.
If you are not subscribed to the channels, please make sure you are subscribed to Couch Potato Queens as well as Reality Realness with 3 S's. Yes. And Chantele, let the people know where they can find you.
Well, obviously, Reality Realness with 3 S's on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter without the second E. Because why do they give us a limit on my the name? You know, I wanted this to be Reality Realness, and it's like 1 letter too long, so annoying. But yes, you can find me there. This week talking a lot, but it's most likely the final week of Love Island USA. So 2 and 3 p.m. Eastern, we do Love Island UK and then Love Island US every day. The challenge starts this week, so Wednesday after the episode, Fanta, myself, and Michelle will be talking about the first episode of the challenge, season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies. Friday night, I will also be talking about the challenge on Reality Pop. Saturday with Nerdtainment, Sarah and I will be discussing episode 11 of Survivor South Africa. And obviously, after every episode of Big Brother, I will be going live. Sarah! Hey,
Hi,
guys!
Sarah!
So yeah, I'm going to be around a lot.
And it looks like one of our mods has put Chantele's YouTube in the chat. Thank you, Athrella. We appreciate it.
That's so kind. Thank you so much.
You can find Josh on Instagram at Mendels8 if you would like to follow Josh on Twitter and Instagram. And you can go ahead and follow me at alexknowsitall.jpg and at alexknowsitall_ on Instagram and Twitter. And you can find all things Couch Potato Queens right down here on Twitter, Couch Potato Queens, QWNZ, Instagram at Couch Potato Queens, and make sure you are subscribed. We are on that road to trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Help us get there, baby.
And I'm actually going live with Sarah on Wednesday. Yay!
Yes.
I'm excited.
It has been a blast, y'all. We will see you on the next live. Enjoy that Big Brother episode tonight, and don't let any